Hey guys, what's going on and welcome to the Jagner channel. In today's video I just wanted to give a quick speech on why I think tanking is great in Dragonflight and why I think you should definitely try it and you should not be afraid of tanking. Though I have to give a disclaimer because I don't want anybody to start raging without even watching the video, so I will state this in the beginning of the video that I don't think that tanking on higher key levels is at all easy in Dragonflight. It is super challenging, but the thing is that my point is that until relatively high key levels, I think tanking has never been so easy and so accessible. So everybody should definitely try it because it gives you such a rush that no DPS class is going to give you, because you are going to be the leader of the group. You are going to lead the group. You are going to be the one setting the route, setting the pace, and it just feels so rewarding when you finish a key, when you time a key, and you know that it's been you who's been leading the team. Of course, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it's all up to the tank. I'm just saying that you definitely have a very big role and you can make or break a key. So why do I think that tanking in Dragonflight is the most accessible that it's ever been? I think that because just tanks are so tanky right now, especially if you are playing like a protection warrior, but I've been also playing Brewmaster Monk, which is considered to be the least tanky tank out of all of them, and I was still able to time like plus 15 keys in like 380 item level, which is definitely not high whatsoever. And I have no idea pretty much how to play Brewmaster. I just watched a couple of guides and then I just went on and tried to do some keys. So I was definitely not experienced at all. Of course, I knew the routes and stuff, but my point is simply that it is definitely very accessible, and until you reach kind of the 18, 19 key levels, you will never have issues with staying alive. And that's a very important thing, because before, even in Shadowlands Season 1 and Season 2, it was so hard to stay alive with so many tanks. And it was so hard to kind of reach that Keystone Master level. You had to be actually good with the class. But now it's a bit different, because especially if you are playing like a Protection Warrior or a Blood DK or even a Brewmaster Monk, if you just know your basic rotation and you are just doing your basic defensives, you don't even really need to time or like figure out like how to sort out your cooldowns, when you should use what, so that you are always having some cooldowns to make sure that you can stay alive. You can just use your basic defensives, and that is more than enough to stay alive. In most of the groups and fights, even when everybody is already dead, you are still going to be alive and able to survive even without a healer. So I definitely think that it is very accessible, and you should not be worried that you are going to go into a group and just like mess it up and die on the first pack because you are not so sure about how to tank and it's like super challenging and stuff like that. No, it is super easy. But I have to state that there is one thing that you need to make sure, that when you are tanking, you need to know what you are going to be doing. You need to have kind of a route in mind. You need to be able to know the boss mechanics and like what certain mobs do. Though I have to state that until you reach the key level of around like 10 to 12, I would say that tanking is by far the easiest, for the reason that you don't even really need to know what certain mobs or bosses are doing, because you can pretty much just outlive mostly any mechanic, even if you are failing. Even if, let's say here in the video, this Drag G's, I don't even know how you say his name, even if you stand in the frontal or the fire, I actually did just stand in the frontal right here, and this is a plus 20 key, and you can see that Napster, the warrior DPS, has died instantly in it, but I'm still alive, and this is a plus 20 key. And when you are going for lower keys, you can survive even more. So even if you don't really know what you are doing and you are failing so many stuff, you will still stay alive. So it's actually even easier to play as a tank than as a DPS. The only thing that you need to make sure, as I said, is that you need to have kind of a route in mind. You need to be able to go through the dungeon and know which way you are going, what you are going to be pulling, how many packs you are going to be pulling. So that's definitely important, that you you only need around like 1 hour. You need to go online, you need to check some routes, maybe some dungeon guides. It doesn't take long. Like each dungeon guide lasts for like 10-15 minutes, even if you are watching a longer one. And if you are watching those, then you will know what certain mobs are doing, what certain bosses are doing, which way you should go. And from that point, just staying alive is so easy. And I can guarantee to you guys that if you have never tried tanking, then that it is really a lot of fun, and it just feels so rewarding when you are timing a key and you know that you've been leading that group. I'm not saying that the other people don't matter or they are not giving as much to the success of the run as you, but it just feels different when you are playing a tank and you are running through a dungeon and succeeding as a tank. And as I said, it has never been so accessible and so easy. I'm saying easy because it depends on the key level as well. So I definitely recommend trying. On another note, I have to state though, because I want to give you the full picture of tanking in Dragonflight, that as soon as you reach around 18, 19, 20, more like 1920s when this started to happen to me, the whole game changes. You are not invincible anymore. You can die so easily. You need to make sure that you know when you want to use your CDs, when you want to use your cooldowns, defenses. You need to plan ahead. You need to know all of the bosses and even all of the trash, what kind of spells they are doing, what you need to reflect, what you need to use a cooldown for, how big of a packs you are going to be pulling. And it becomes so complex from that point. But from that point, that gives it its beauty. Like if you've been going up the ladder one by one, so you are not starting instantly with like 15s because you are in a big gear and a big group and you are just changing your main and instantly want to go high keys, it's going to be very challenging then. But if you are starting from the beginning, from like 5 keystone level 5 and going up to like 8, 10, and then you are going up slowly and doing all the dungeons on each levels, then you will learn what you need to do. You will learn what mobs are doing, and by the time you reach the level of like 1920, you will be a decent player and you will most likely be able to handle it. Though at that point, I really recommend to go and look at expert guides, because as I said, as soon as you hit that like 18, 19, 20 keystone level, it becomes so much more challenging. Like I was shocked. I just went for like keys like no cool or like temple, and I was like pulling packs that never did anything to me. I was just like, yeah, just pull it. I just put up my shield block and like whatever, maybe I use a trinket or something, and then I just suddenly I'm like one shot, and I'm like, what the hell has happened? Like I never even had to use anything on this pack, and now I'm one shot. And I was just like, people been flaming me. You guys know how toxic the community can be, and I was just like getting a bit discouraged from tanking. But then I just grabbed my balls. I went online. I looked at some guides, and I learned how to really do these dungeons well and what every single mob is doing and like how I need to handle things. And I have to say that as soon as you do that and you really know everything, like you are approaching every single pack, knowing what's going to happen, knowing what you need to do, it is still going to be hard on like high key levels like 20, 21, 22. But it's going to be so rewarding because you know exactly what you're doing. Like when you are starting to tank, you are kind of like running around the dungeon, you are pressing your defenses and you're like, oh, I hope I'm going to stay alive, but you are not really in control. But that gives it a lot of fun as well. Like that makes it just like more exciting and stuff like that. And as I said, on low key levels, you can do that. You are not going to be dying. Like, don't worry about it. Like, just using your basic defensive, like as a warrior, I don't even need to use ignore pain. I just press shield block for cooldown. I literally don't even need to look at like if I even need it or not. I just literally press it for cooldown. Just make sure that I always have shield block up, and that's more than enough to survive pretty much anything. Maybe on boss fights when you have a tank buster, you press a cooldown or something, but even that is just going to make the healer's life easier. So on low key levels, it's definitely so much easier than it used to be. So if you ever been thinking about tanking and you want to give it a try, but you are afraid, then now this is the time. You should try it. I can guarantee to you that you are going to be having fun. Just make sure that you know your route. As I said, that's so important. You need to know the basics. Like you need to know the basics of the dungeon and where you are going to be going, because otherwise people will be so annoyed with you if you are running around and you don't even know where you are going. Like you just need to watch like a 10-minute guide on like each dungeon, and you need to know what the basics that you are doing. So that's about it, guys. Just to recap on everything, tanking is very accessible. You should try it. You are going to be having fun. It's very easy to stay alive, and you won't like it. I think on low key levels, it's one of the easiest things. You just need to know the route and like where you are going and just the basics of the dungeon. If you are going for higher key levels, it's one of the most challenging and stressful things, but it is super rewarding. But you need to make sure that you just don't just rush into 18, 19, 20 keys. You need to know exactly, like only start those if you know exactly what's happening in the dungeon, exactly what every mob is casting and how you can handle it. Just watch a couple of guides. There's crazy good ones like from Quasi or Now or stuff like that, and then you are going to be having a very good time. It's not going to be easy from that point on, but you are going to be having a good time. If you're just going for Keystone Master or even the Keystone Hero or whatever the achievement is, you are going to be having a very easy time as a tank. And just to recap, and that you know that I'm human as well, and I make huge mistakes, and I'm depleting more keys than you will ever do in your life. Trust me on that. So I'm just not praising here, saying that I'm perfect. This run was going pretty bad, to be honest. My friends were making a lot of mistakes. Like even here, people are dying like nothing. I don't even know what was happening, but everybody makes mistakes. That's not a problem. You should not be so hard on yourself, guys. Like it's okay. People are toxic. That happens, but that's just their opinion. And then we could have still timed this dungeon with me playing absolutely perfectly. Like even here, we are in such a tight situation. The mob is in the middle of the fire and we are still kind of surviving and don't even have my defensives. Yeah, so it was a pretty dodgy one, but we were still kind of in time. We even had a huge pool right here somewhere and we survived it. And then here I just decided that we are in such a hurry. I should pull this back fast. Like I should just rush in. I'm not pulling it here because I always losh here. I'm just running in and then I just do one bad step. Just one bad step. That's all it takes to mess up a key. As you see here, I rush in, I'm here, and from this point I should be moving backwards, but I kind of like in a very high state, my adrenaline is over the roof. We can still maybe time this, like we are pretty much over the, like it wouldn't have happened, but there was a tiny chance. So I was like, maybe. And I just took a step there and instantly pulled them. And these two packs is goodbye. Maybe MDI team will kill it. I'm pretty sure that they will. Even on bolstering, I'm not sure. But yeah, so the key you can see on my face, I'm like, yeah, guys, well, I pulled it. You actually can't see my face because I'm blocking that with the video, but yeah, that's what happens. So the key is over here. People know that it's over, and people know that it's my fault, but it happens. You know, on high key levels, you can't really make mistakes as a tank, and it can be challenging, but on low key levels, you will have an easy time. So if you ever wanted to try tanking, then this is your time right now. So thank you guys for watching this video. If anybody even watching this video, I had fun doing it, and I will see you guys in the next one.